Hi, in this video I'll show you what stoichiometry is. So stoichiometry is basically the relationship between elements in an equation. So we have x1 plus x2, no, we have x plus y yields m plus n. Basically, if I give you if I give you a number of moles of x, how many moles of m would you make? And if I give you a number of moles of x, how many moles of y would it take to make the reaction occur? So that's what stoichiometry is. In order to use stoichiometry, the first step would be to balance the equations. Balance the chemical equation. So let's do an example. We have PbS plus HCl aqueous yields PbCl2 plus H2 gas, and this is aqueous. This is solid. Okay. And then on top of that, it told you that how many moles of hydrochloric acid it's an acid, so it has to be this one, are needed to react with 4.0 moles of lead. Lead is Pb. And a reminder, hydrochloric, the word hydro acid means it's a binary acid, and chlorate, 8 becomes ic. No, chloric is chloride, and chloride is Cl. So it's HCl. Now let's see if this is balanced. We see there's one Pb on this side, there's one Pb on this side, but there's 2 Cl, so that's not balanced. What we'll have to do is add a 2 over here. Now there's 2 Cl, and 2H. Now this is balanced. So let's write this again. Plus 2HCl aqueous yields PbCl2 solid. Again, you're not expected to know how to write the state of matter. Right now you just need to know that Pb is solid because it's a metal by itself. A metal by itself is always solid except for mercury, which is a liquid at room temperature, plus H2. A gas by itself is always gaseous, so this is G. These two we'll learn in a future unit, so you don't have to worry about those right now. So, first things first, we need to write, it told us there's 4 moles of lead. So we're going to write 4 over here, and this is before, this is a reaction, this is a reaction, this is a before, this is change, this is after. So, in the reactants, the after has to equal to 0. In the products, the before has to equal to 0. Because after the reactants form, they yield the products, and therefore there will be no more reactants after the reaction. And in the beginning, since no product is formed, that's why there's no before. So now they told us there's 4 moles of lead to start off with. The change, it has to be fully used up, and we use the coefficient over here, which is 1. So minus 1 divided by 1 times 4 equals 0. Right? 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. And I use this 1 came from here. And to start off what we're given with, this has to equal to 1, so that when multiplied by this, which came from before, it has to equal to 0. Okay, now that we know before there's 4 moles, change minus 4 after we got 0. And now what we need to do is find hydrochloric acid, which is HCl2. This is what we need to find. So in order to find HCl, we have to divide this mole number by this mole number, which is negative 2 over 1. And we still multiply it by what we were given with, 4. Now, 2 times 4 is negative 8. 8 minus 8 is equal to 0. So that gives an answer of 8 moles. Therefore, 8 moles of HCl is needed to fully react with 4.0 moles, 8.0 to balance out, to make the significant digits even. 4.0 moles of PB. These, since they didn't ask for it, you don't really need to do these. And since it makes sense because there's 1 mole of PB and 2 moles of HCl. So for every 1 mole of lead, there has to be 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. So if they give you 4 moles of lead, you need 8 moles of hydrochloric acid. But in order, you have to show work. In chemistry, you have to show work for everything, and therefore this is the work you'll show. Now these two are not asked for. They didn't need you to find these, so you can just cross them out and not do it. But I'll do them anyways, just to show you how to do them. So over here, it has to be plus something. 0 has to add something in order to give us a final answer. And let's see. We still use the same coefficient, which is 1 over here. 1 divided by 1 times 4. We always multiply by what we're given with in the beginning, times 4. Now that equals 4 moles. H also has a coefficient of 1, plus 1 divided by 1 times 4. This 1 came from here. This 1 came from here. All these 1s came from here. If this is a different number, you have to divide everything by a different number. Now 1 divided by 1 times 4 is 4. So in 4 moles in this reaction with 4 moles of lead, you'll need 8 moles of hydrochloric acid in order to make the reaction occur. In order to fully use up all 4 moles of the lead, and your products will be 4 moles of PbCl2 and 4 moles of H2. Thank you for watching.